All right. What's going on, guys? So we are live again, and we have, yes, an absolute legend, as someone has already commented, Thom Mathews. How are you, sir?
Whew. I'm great.
He's great.
Doing well. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
It's the least I can do is ask how you are.
Yeah.
So, let's what do you want to bust into? You want to bust into your indie career? I think Clint wants to start with your indie career.
You know, I'm absolutely excited to have you here. I mean, everybody's familiar with a lot of the work that you did in the 80s and early 90s and things like that. But I find it amazing that that has taken on a life, and had legs to the point where, like, it's coming back. I mean, people are asking you to reprise, old roles that you've done and actually do new ones.
And been doing the horror convention circuit for about 10, 12 years now. And that's, I tried not to do it, but then I did the first one, and the fans are so great and so endearing, and all the heartfelt stories about where they were and what the movie did for them, and either Friday or, Return of the Living Dead. It's just truly amazing. So I last year I did 12, and we're doing the Never Hike Alone stuff, Never Hike Alone 2, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I wanted to mention. I mean, Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, Never Hike Alone 2. I mean, these are really cool that they brought you back to play Tommy Jarvis again, where I caught you as an ambulance driver at the end of one of those.
Accidentally on Never Hike Alone, It's just kind of weird how it came together, and we found something for me at the end because they had already shot half of it. And in part, that's why I got involved in it, was because they had already shot half of it. And the production value was amazing.
Yeah.
So, and the writing was great. And the Andrew, the kid, was great in it. He was very solid. And that was like the third incarnation of it by the time I saw it, because the first time it was a trial and error and they scrapped it. And I think maybe the second time they scrapped it as well. So he had a lot of rehearsal, and it really grounded him in the part. And it was just amazing. The drone shots, the cinematography, and the story was just great. So kudos to Womp Stomp. And then we did Never Hike in the Snow, and I got Vinny Guasafero to come back, because I locked him up in part 6 in the jail. So we got him back into it, and it's just been great.
Good
to see him too. He cracks me up every time I see him.
That dude does seem like a character.
I don't know if you've seen Never Hike in the Snow, but he looks like Carol Channing with all the white hair and stuff.
No, I definitely see it. I know what you're saying.
Definitely.
He's doing well.
Good.
That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, we're going to go back up. The trailer for Never Hike Alone 2 dropped in January, and then we're going to go back up in about a week or so and shoot the final leg of it, and then it's going to premiere different places all at the same time in October on Friday the 13th, and it's going to be really, really great. Yeah, it's going to be the first time Rick the Dick sees Jason for the first time, because he's always blamed.
That's true, man.
He's always blamed. He's never seen him.
Nope.
And he's going to have a realization of
come to Jesus moment.
He's really been to Tommy Jarvis.
There you go. Well, I want to make sure we highlight some of these comments, because we got some major players in here. So Peter Anthony, I'm pretty sure you know him.
Yeah, of course. Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
So
I think you did some fight coordinating, didn't you, with Peter?
Yes. Did the Vengeance too. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
And we got love and respect. Thom Mathews working Friday the 13th, part 6. It's not only favorite movies of all time. Wow. Favorite one of the franchise. Well, that's
Tom McLaughlin's the reason to blame for that. He really had a vision, and great director and great writer, and he'd pull it all together. The cinematography is great too, and there's a little bit of love interest, so you kind of got invested in the characters a little bit. It wasn't just see him and kill him. So you emotionally got invested in them. So I think that's why it stands out and people really like it.
You're hit the nail right on the head there. That's why it's my favorite. I mean, because again, you get emotionally invested in
Yeah.
characters, especially in horror movies. Just doesn't happen. And I think it's the same with Return of the Living Dead as well. With Freddy, it's like
Oh, yeah.
kind of give a shit about Freddy.
Totally. I mean, you go on the journey with him, innocent kid, and he turns out to be this brain craving sucking zombie at the end. It's a great hour and a half. Dying, which was with Jimmy Karen too.
Oh yeah,
which was great. And we found out on the second one that we were born on the same day, so maybe that's why we got along so well.
I would say so. Probably so.
We celebrated our birthdays every year after that. He didn't live too far from me, so we'd see him at least once a year and see him at some of the shows every once in a while if he wasn't working and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, we do have our first question from a viewer. What was your best part being in the movie for Vengeance 2? Do you have any good bloopers or good stories to tell?
Let's see. Well, it was night shoot, so that's always tough on a body. I can't think of any bloopers off the top of my head. Sorry, Jason.
No, you're fine.
It's all right. I like the fact that it seemed kind of be like a reunion film there around the end of it. I mean, back with Thom again, working with CJ Graham again.
Yeah. Great to work with CJ.
Yeah.
And Jason, Jason Brooks was great as Jason. First time I had seen my kids, so that was good.
It's always a positive thing.
Absolutely.
And they didn't ask for money, so that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
It's even better.
Yeah, damn right.
Child support. They're all grown up by the time.
Right. They don't need money at this point.
And the ending, was really, really great. The production value was really great, also on Vengeance 2.
No, it's been one of the most, probably I'd say, well received fan films. And the one thing that I really did want to ask you was, what do you think of, obviously, Friday the 13th lasting this long with fan films, and you don't even need Hollywood anymore to make these films. You have enough talent on the indie circuit.
Well, you do, but the problem with the fan films, the production company, they can't make any money, so it's truly a labor of love. It's invested by the fans for the fans and made by the fans. Vincent DeSante is, he grew up with a lake and a forest, and when he was a kid, he always dreamed about it. So just having the dream and having a vision, it's kind of weird that we all came together and fulfilled his dream, because he's quite a filmmaker, and dreams do come true. So everybody, hang on to your dreams and just go for it. Just do what you got to do, take care of business, and just keep plugging away at your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Clint, what else you got, man?
Well, I was very interested in another project that you recently worked on, and that's because we've gotten to know the filmmakers pretty well. Dave Kerr and his crew. Yeah, with Slasher 15. They're actually getting ready to premiere next week. Go Away, which you had a part in that.
I was going to be there, but I have a conflict with filming Never Hike Alone 2, so I was going to do that and then do a scene in Slasher Nurse that he's doing right now too. So I would have loved to. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm dying to see it. And the script is great. Dave's an amazing writer. I mean, his dialogue is great, and his relationships are great. I think you're going to be surprised by Go Away. It's kind of.
I can't wait. I live 5 minutes from where it's premiering at, so it's here at the Alamo.
Really great.
It's great, and
I know we're waiting for the premiere, and I know that we don't want to spoil anything or anything like that. But can you say anything about your experience or your character in that movie?
It's wonderful, fantastic. The whole cast. Tuesday night was I was her husband, because it's all her family and stuff. I was kind of brought in to the family. She marries me after her husband had died only 2 years ago. So there's a lot of family dynamics in the movie going on, and then home invasion and stuff like that. It's really well crafted. I can't wait to see it myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dying to see that.
But
I think it's gonna be
Rose
amazing.
is in it. She plays Tuesday's loudmouth sister.
Yeah.
She gets
Yeah.
all drunk and
We love.
she brings her inappropriate child with her as well.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked to her a little while back, and she said that Dave just let her go.
Yeah.
That she could play that character as over the top as she wanted.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? It's Feliz Rose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like but she's a sweetheart. We've met her numerous
I
times.
saw her at a convention where we had FrankenCon, I guess, was the last one we were at. And she was
Okay.
there. And yeah, I just love her to death. She's great.
Yeah, we were talking. We got Brian Bremer coming on next on July or June 27th. He said you were a superb human being. Those were his words, not mine. So I think you're a superb human being, but he said it. Let's see. I'm looking at Sean says, "Miss you."
Hey, Sean.
Oh man.
Ashley says,
Miss you too,
"Hi,
buddy.
ha, ha, ha." So we got some people watching.
The Vengeance crew coming in.
So there is a move. So I don't know how far back in your catalog I can go without you just leaving the interview and be like, I'm not talking about that. So there's a movie that I am so interested in talking to you about.
Okay.
Which is called Failsafe.
Well, that wasn't a movie.
That's true. It wasn't a movie.
It was a live TV event.
That's true. That is true.
Brian Dennehy.
It is as star-studded can get.
Sam Elliott was in it. Brian Dennehy. Richard Dreyfuss was in it. George Clooney was in it.
How was that experience?
Brought me in. That was, you know what? It was incredible. And I did everything in my power while because we did 2 shows, one for the East Coast, one for the West Coast. I just had, because the .com was happening, at the time and stuff like that. And I did everything when the camera was on live for New York or LA, from not saying yahoo.com, and making a couple of bucks live.
You've got mail, AOL.com.
Yeah. Or AOL.com or whatever it was. So it was great. It was, it's like doing a play, so it cut back and forth and it was great. And a lot of, George is in it. Matt Adler's in it. Another friend of mine was in it. So it was fun.
I was just curious because I saw that and I was like, man, that had to be an experience.
Yeah, it was trippy. That's all George, he wanted to do it live. And so black and white, because it's a great movie. I don't know if you saw the original, but it's.
Oh yeah. That's what made me think of it. I was like, is that based on the same thing?
Yep.
So.
It was.
Hell yes. I had to get that out of the way.
But I know that that acting has always been the major experience that you've had, but it seems like you've gone a little bit more into like the producing role as of late. I mean, where you're trying to help projects get off the ground, or some of these.
It's all one big community, so I'm just trying to give back a little bit, producing, executive producing. So just to help, just to kind of keep it going. It just because the horror fans are the best. I mean, they're all over the world. From Brazil to Europe. I mean, from Australia. The emails and the nods I get, it's from all over the world. So it's been a lot of fun. And without them, we wouldn't have been here. And like I said, the Cora conventions, I did 12 last year. And without them, I wouldn't have go to those. And it's fun to go out and to talk to everybody. And you wouldn't believe all the stories of, all the heartfelt stories, as I was saying earlier, that everyone shares. It just, and how in some way I move them and somehow it's just really great. Or like I said, where they were when they saw it for the first time and what's their favorite one. And some of them are, it was made way before they were even born. So, and then there's the game too. I think the game is creating a whole new fan for Friday the 13th. Because, look, I don't think anyone under 13 should see Friday the 13th.
Okay,
but they can play the game, right?
That's true.
So and then later on they can go and see the whole from 1 through maybe 13 by the time they get around to seeing it. So that's.
And you were in the game too.
I was in the game, yeah. So it's creating a whole new fan base for the franchise.
Definitely is.
Mhm.
No, I concur with that. Let's see.
I didn't
Make
know
sure.
did they have you do the voice of Tommy again, or did
I
you
did
do
the
you
book,
have
and they sent. I should have brought up my file. I didn't know we were going to talk about it, but I had photo approval of Tommy myself. The first one they sent me over, black hair, a 5 o'clock shadow, big Jay Leno chin. I said,
Oh, I did. You know what? It's funny because I did see that because I was looking for the thumbnails and I was like, who the fuck is that? It's like Tommy Jarvis. I'm like, that's not Tommy Jarvis. I'm like, I don't know who that dude is.
so we went back 6 times and settled on what, I just, it is what it is. I don't know. Whoever was generating it, I don't think ever saw the movie. So I would send them back correct. My eyes were too wide. They're too wide apart. I'd bring them back together. I'd have my picture and his picture and move them over the chin and the chin and the gap between to try and get it closer to what, I look like in part 6. And then I tried to negotiate. I asked for a superpower. So they gave me a shotgun. And then I asked for, I wanted 10 cents for every time someone became Tommy Jarvis. They didn't go for that, but I asked.
That's ridiculous.
Right?
Ridiculous.
So,
No,
yeah,
and
the guys over at Gun Media, they're really great.
they are awesome. It's really cool that they're doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and they got Kane doing the motion capture for Leatherface. So that's kind of wild stuff right there. And I played the game. I enjoyed it. Yeah, you should have got a superpower. I mean, damn, Jason can go all over the place, teleport, and
Yeah.
shotgun. I mean,
It's only
damn,
fair.
that's still underutilized shit. Why can't I
Yeah.
teleport?
At least lightning power with the fence stake or something.
Yeah, or being able to summon Horus. That's what I would have done.
Oh,
I would have made sure I would have somehow got Ron Palillo in there and been like, "Then now we're really gonna go to town. He's gonna rip your heart out now."
there
Bam.
you go.
See?
Exactly.
Oh man, so great. You got some fans here, man. They just Peter's saying, Kickboxer 4, how George Clooney and him met. Yep, without a doubt. And you were in some wild ass canon movies.
Albert Pune. I did 11 movies for Albert Pune. Yeah, early on.
We were talking about those earlier, and some of that, and they're pretty doing good.
My first movie was I had a walk-on bit part in The Woman in Red. Met with Gene Wilder, and my scene was opposite with Charles Grodin. And then I did Return of the Living Dead. Was my next movie role, and it was a huge part, And then was doing some Albert Pune movies, Dangerously Close. Was doing Down Twisted in Mexico with him, with Charlie Rocket and Kerry Lowell. And then I left Mexico to go to Georgia to shoot Friday the 13th Part 6 in Covington, Georgia.
You were all over the place, man.
That's cool.
Hot commodity.
Yeah. And I think I caught a note that you had been engaged in martial arts early on, and that helped you out in some of his films.
It did. And, if you're an actor, if you can be well-rounded in everything, if you can sing, if you can dance, if you can do martial arts, if you can do whatever, paint or piano, any kind of musical instrument, it will definitely serve you later on in your career. I did a Western about 3 years ago, and
Is that Warpath?
It is.
God, I want to see that so bad.
I had my first on-screen song where I had to sing.
Wow.
Friggin' terrified.
I bet.
Right?
I told the director, I said, look, I'm not a singer, and you don't want me singing in your movie. You're just going to stink up the whole place. No, it's very integral to the part of the character. I said, okay. I said, but it says on the script, what he lacks in talent, he makes up for in enthusiasm. And he's singing the song.
Damn.
I said, no one's going to read that. They're only going to sing me bad. But, and of course, I get out there. I literally tried to get out of doing. He made an offer, didn't have to audition because he was in Detroit, and he wanted to start on a certain day, but I was busy doing another movie. So I said, I can't do it because the schedules overlap. He goes, I'll push it a week. So push it a week. So I get out there. What's the first scene that comes up that he does? The freaking
song.
I couldn't even ease into, my environment. I get to know the actors a little bit. No, we're singing the song. But it turned out really well. I'm glad I did it. So that was fun. And I don't sing, and it was a folk song. So it was, and I played it just like that. I tried to play with a lot of charm because it made it endearing. So it worked on that level.
Yeah.
All I can think is Paint Your Wagon vibes. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. And then as far as the karate thing, I learned how to do karate to kick my older brother's ass. So that was my impetus to learn how to do karate. So I learned how, like a purple belt at one point, and then I never beat him up, but that was I was tired of him beating on me, so I learned how to do karate.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all.
Well, definitely Warpath looks awesome. What I saw of it, I mean, it gave me the impression of like a 60s Western vibe.
Totally. And the poster, the poster was great. And the other thing, he shot on film.
I was going to ask you that.
We were talking about that.
It looked authentic.
We're filming, and when you shoot on film, when you used to shoot on film, they always say at the end of the shot, the scene, check the gate. And it was like, check the gate. And it was like, reminiscent of the old film days, and we were shooting on film. So it was pretty cool. Very cool. And that's what he wanted. He wanted an authentic, Western vibe to it. It was a fun movie. A lot of horses and cowboys and Indians and guns, and, got to grow a goatee out, and I got a good song in the movie. Actually, a couple of them. And the girl Sasha was really great in it.
Yeah, it looks amazing. That's right up my alley. Yeah. Let's see. James has a question. Make sure we get that. Had a question. When you were filming the scene of Part 6 fighting Jason, was it freezing cold? And how heavy was it wearing that jacket in the water?
The jacket wasn't so bad. It was the boots. The opening scene where he jumps out. I'm getting out, and then I'm crawling out, and then he jumps up and grabs me. And my boots were like Doc Martens, so they were really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what I did to my knee, but I had like water. I overextended it or hyperextended it or something. So I had water on my knee for about 5 years after that. I was 24. Wow. Yeah. And I thought I was just going to have to, I just chalked it up to getting older, but I was still young. And I thought I was going to have to deal with that for the rest of my life, but it just miraculously went away after 5 years. Wow. In the water, we needed to keep me down in the water, so the jacket kind of helped with that. We were underwater for about 30 minutes a shot, and there were divers off camera. And if you needed water, you just hit your chest, and they'd come over and give you some oxygen and hold it. And so that was kind of a cool scene. Once your ears got over the water, because it wasn't a pool. It wasn't in the lake itself. All the action on top of the water was done on location in Daniel Morgan Camp, where we shot it, which I just went to back in November because they have an event there. So Tom McLaughlin had gone the year before, and he said it was just like heaven. So I went out in November, and everything's the same. Everything's the same. The campground looks the same. The kids' cabins look the same. It's like it's totally a time warp.
Stood still. It's like it's never been.
It's true.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we got one person that says they met you last year, Cam Daniel Morgan. So there you go.
That's what I was just talking about. Yeah, perfect.
Yep. I mean, we got, like I said, oh my God, it's Thom Mathews. Let's see. I mean, holy shit, we have a legend in the house. I told you, man, we got people that are tuning in and they enjoy it, man, as much as we do. One of the favorite actors of all time. Let's see. Great job. Really enjoy hearing Tom talk about his roles. It's one of the times any stories from shooting Blood Match.
Blood Match.
Yeah, with Albert Purin. Yeah. So Blood Match, I think we shot that. Albert was just coming off a Kickboxer 3. So it was down in Orange County at the Irvine, they had a convention center. So he had the stage already for Kickboxer 3. So he quickly wrote a script, Blood Bench. And we shot the thing in 3 days.
Wow.
Jesus.
A lot of dialogue. Benny the Jet was in it. Benny Ukitis from the Jet Center here. He lives out in California. That Elton John song, I believe, is about him. But Benny and the Jets. So I killed him
Cool.
for my martial arts training. Very sweet guy. He held 3 belts at one time, in his career. So he was a total badass. And then a lot of his students, Bear, I remember particular. Bear was like African-American guy, dreads, and he was like 250 pounds. But there was a still from the movie where I give a ridge hand. A ridge hand is where you hit somebody with this part of your hand. So I'm hitting him here, and he's literally flat. It's in a black and white. I'm going like this, hitting him up here, not in the throat, but here. And he's literally flat with the canvas. And it's a great shot. And he's a big boy,
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And then I ended up getting killed at the end by the girl.
Damn
Chicks.
It's fitting. They take it too far.
Be the
right.
death of us all.
Terror Tuesday says, hey. Let's see.
Hey.
80s Horror Man got a question. What was your favorite scene to shoot in Friday the 13th Part 6?
My favorite, I love the opening sequence. It just, before the credits even roll, that was really, there's so many great moments in it. The underwater stuff was first time I had done that, so that was really cool. And then, working with Ron and the whole opening sequence, I just loved it. Just kind of sets the tone for the whole movie.
It does. You're not lying there.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, so we were just talking about it.
Thought it'd be fun to run through that cemetery.
Shit. Oh, Jesus.
Had to go zigzag because
that was crazy.
It was a historical cemetery, so I could only go in a certain pattern. A lot of unknown soldiers there.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
a lot of history there in that cemetery.
I read that trivia on there. It was
it was quite moving being there and just because learn history in elementary school and then actually being there was quite great.
No, it sets the tone. It's got the best opening, I think. Again, it's my favorite one. So
Of the franchise,
oh yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Let's see. Can't wait to see you in Never Hike Alone 2, reprising the role. Question.
Yeah, go see Jordan. Go check out if you haven't already on Netflix. On YouTube. Never Hike Alone 2. The teaser's on there, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's a long shot. You're at the camp, and there's a dock, and at the end of the dock, there's a kid fishing.
Wait, did he just say? We don't know if we saw it? I've watched that fucker like 50 times.
So did you realize?
Totally watched it.
See the kid at the end of the dock?
Yeah.
Did he look like a young Corey Feldman in Part 4?
Uh-huh.
So I'm talking to myself.
That's. I was like, what the fuck? It's like now we're like time warps.
Yes.
It looks.
Horror Stevie's his name. He was great. He was excited to do it. He was. Every take was spot on. He was really a good little actor. And he didn't know how to swim. So for Jason, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. But
You can watch the damn trailer, guys. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with
It'll take a couple minutes.
Yeah, right.
Pretty great.
Well, I want to talk about another teaser trailer that
Yeah.
you sent me because I got bombarded with him when I sent him a message. He was like, "I'm not going to talk to you. Just look at this shit." You sent me one for Final Summer, which looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe. It's got a
seen
good vibe.
Yeah, very Friday the 13th-esque, a lot of elements from it. There's a camp, there's a lake, there's some murders going on, some mysterious stuff going on. Talking to John about doing a sequel. He's actually just texted me this morning. He wants to do a sequel, so
Should.
I haven't seen that one either. Dying to see it.
I mean, it looks great. Like I said, it's got that feeling like
Total 80s vibe to it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be cool.
Yeah, it was the only Friday the 13th. No cussing, no nudity. It still is one of the best in the series, hands down.
No blood.
Yep. And that's MPAA.
Yeah.
Once they got past 5, that was it for Friday the 13th.
They were really hard. Like for example, when Jason punches his chest through Ron, he's got his heart in his hand through his chest, and he drops it, and it hits the ground, and then CJ steps on it. So they cut that part out. Also, the sheriff's death, which is one of my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so. I saw the dailies of that, the day after, and it was so no music, no cracking of his back. It was creepy with nothing on it. So by the time they put it in the movie, and they had all the effects and the music and stuff, it was fantastic. And all they did was they dug a hole. David Kagan, who played the sheriff, stood in the hole, bent over forward, and then the stunt guy had his torso in the hole with his legs sticking out, and they had a jacket cover him. So David just had to lean back, and the guy kicked up to his legs, and it was so great, so simple and so effective.
What a great low dollar effect!
Yeah, no doubt.
Just unbelievable. Yeah.
Let's see.
No head blowing up.
Yeah,
that's one of our really good followers.
Our Canadian friend. Yeah,
he considers 110% canon. So vengeance is part of his timeline, which I mean, yes, it is without a shadow of a doubt.
Such a cool story. It fits right in to the franchise. Yeah.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got going on. It's an honor to go hang out with Tom. Tom's a great dude. We actually had him on. We interviewed him. And we try to keep away. I mean, we try to keep away as long as we can without talking about the things you guys have talked about. A
million times. Yeah.
So we kind of hit him with like One Dark Night. Talking to him about that flick, which is phenomenal. All your stuff that you got going on.
Did that too. Date with an Angel.
Yep. And I checked out Stain Free before we hopped on. Man,
is that cool?
That should have won more awards than it did.
That should be a feature film, man. That
should be
so cool.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
It was like 16 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
16 minutes I've seen.
Yeah, it was really great idea. A cleaner.
Everybody in it was great.
Yeah. I learned a lot. I didn't know if someone dies in your house, you got to set it up to clean it up. Someone gets murdered in your house or something.
That's on you. Yeah, once they're done investigating, that's your problem. Apparently,
I thought the cops, had that all dialed in.
I hired Mary maids. They came in and cleaned it all up.
Extra bucks.
Yeah, right. Here's $30, and like we were talking. Here's a 6 tacos from Sheets. Here you go. Have fun. All right. So James says, when you did Return of the Living Dead, did you get to see? Oh, well, yeah, the Tar Man. If so, that must have been a sight to see. Creepy as that was creepy as shit.
Yeah, I saw for sure. He was around.
He was around. Got real. Well, there's Jason Brooks. So good to see you again. Appreciate you more than words can say. Such an honor facing off with you.
Oh, thanks, buddy. You too.
Yeah, you are a well-loved figure in horror. Again, I grew up watching, Part 6 and Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2, and
dude, I saw those Part 6 and Return first. They were only a year apart.
Yep,
12 months apart. It was just so that was. And I asked Tom Tom McLaughlin, the director in Part 6, if me being in Return of the Living Dead had anything to do with him hiring me for Part 6, and he hadn't seen it, didn't hear anything about it. So lightning struck twice for me that year.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Truly crazy.
Now let's see what was it? Was it Stain Free? Was it Freddy? There was a kid named Freddy in there, wasn't there?
Yes.
Was there not? Was that that a homage to Return of the Living Dead?
Did you see my hat I was wearing?
Oh yeah.
Did you? You need a medical supply.
I love it. I love it.
On purpose.
It's so great. It's
Yeah.
and it's just like God, if you guys have not seen that, Stain Free Code Black is the name of it.
Yeah,
It's on
pretty cool.
YouTube. It's amazing.
It's on
It's
YouTube.
awesome.
We'll post it on the page because
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
post-
that's
Yeah.
that's worth it. I think a few people need to check that out.
Definitely.
Nice.
See, Facebook, you're the
Right.
greatest. Such a pleasure to meet. Yeah, you.
Thanks, Facebook user.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, tell these dudes sign out, sign in. Damn it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're legendary, like we said. You know, you are a legend, and I've been a huge fan.
Well, you know, just keep my nose down and try to do the best job I can for that day. There's some things I would do differently looking back on probably both the films, but you do the best you can at that time during that day and give 100%.
Hey, you know what? You never know how it's going to turn out. I mean, you know, Return of the Living Dead wound up being one of the
You never know how it's going to turn.
yeah, one of the greatest horror comedies to ever come out.
You know, I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. Truly a dark comedy.
Yeah.
You know,
And
as opposed to the second one, which people like. I've been a little bit harsh on part 2, but you know, if you see it when you're 14, 15, 16 years old, I can see why that might be your favorite part of the franchise. But being the grown-up, part 1's my favorite.
No doubt. All right, now this is a good one. Did you ever get to keep any of the props from any movies in your personal collection? Don't have to answer if you don't want to.
I have the acid latex thing that they glued onto my face. I have that. It's in a plastic bag. I wanted to keep the jacket. I wanted to keep
We got him getting up.
Somebody made this for me.
that's beautiful.
Isn't that cool? Look at
I love that.
that.
It's incredible.
Somebody made that. So I wanted to keep the jacket.
Oh yeah, I got it. Oh man, it's
So
detailed.
what people don't know, a lot of people don't know, the director made this jacket, and then they also thought that maybe it was going to be on TV. So he had another jacket made that said TV version on the back of the jacket. And that's the one I should have kept because I just think that's genius. Dan O'Bannon, man.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's how you do it. You plan for the future.
Other than that, no, not really. I took a lot of stills on for not so much for Return because I, didn't think about it. But
Right.
for Friday the 13th part 6, I have a lot of slides. We were taking slides back in the day, 35 minute color slides.
Okay.
I've got a bunch, maybe 200, 300 slides, which I should, release to the
You should
world.
put every one of them
Yeah.
up to the camera real quick.
Auction them off.
Some back behind the camera,
That'd be great for a charity auction.
Yeah.
No doubt. Sean says, what people don't know is we almost didn't shoot the final fight scene between Tom and CJ and Vengeance 2. Had to bring you guys back. That's what Sean said.
Huh. Didn't
Damn.
know.
You don't remember that. And
Why-
then
why didn't
apparently Jason said he gave you the part 6 costume and jacket from the
I have-
flashback.
I don't have the original one.
Gotcha.
I have that one,
Hell yes. He says, oh, hell yes.
but I don't have the original one.
Yeah, look at Tommy Javier. I like that one.
And someone else also pointed out in Return, I have suspenders. And in part 6, I have suspenders, which I didn't even realize that before.
Holy shit.
Right? Mind blower. I had no
Weird.
idea. I guess
That's
that
that 4K release.
Yeah.
You see shit that you don't see, way back when.
Did you have a problem keeping your pants up? Is that why
I guess. I was,
all
costuming
that
kept
karate
doing that
did.
to you?
I understand for the punk rocker. I'm not so sure why I put them on for Tommy. I just could have put a belt on.
It's all that fucking karate.
Yeah.
Losing weight.
Keep limber.
All right. What was your favorite scene to shoot in Return of the Living Dead? Probably
My
the acid
favorite scene my favorite scene in Return of the Living Dead is this the old lady on the gurney where we're talking to her and her spine's going back and forth. That is my favorite scene because we actually get to Find out what the zombies are thinking. Not people. What are you people? Not people.
Brains.
Brains. It stops the pain, which I think is very enlightening for them. And now, so whenever we think of zombies, we think of them eating brains, even if you haven't seen Return of the Living Dead. So what that means is Return of the Living Dead has the thought of zombies eating brains has become part of pulp culture. It's bigger than the movie itself, which is amazing to me. My favorite scene that I shot, well, I like all the zombie stuff. I mean, just busting through I'm very, very physical. I did sports in high school and stuff, so I liked all that action stuff. So that was fun, busting through the door and being the full blown zombie. That was a lot of fun.
I always love watching the one scene where people are trying to come in, and they keep calling for paramedics and police, and there's always this one shot where this guy is running, and man, he just gets fucking. He gets blasted. I'm like, holy shit, that guy got. Like Lawrence Taylor, just bam, he's done. It was fantastic. I love it. Let's see. Now this is going. So Canadian Ryan, again, one of our really good followers. Was there ever a discussion of you returning for Return of the Living Dead Part 3 in any kind of similar character type?
There wasn't. I mean, look, we shouldn't have been back in Part 2, Jimmy and I. You know why? Want to know why we came back?
Why?
Yes.
We came back because they had the script. They were going to do a sequel. So they had the script. And what you used to do in the day is you used to take you sell distribution rights to get money to make the movie, seed money. So you go to Spain, you go, okay, you guys did this many numbers for Part 1. Do you want to give us maybe half of that so we can make Part 2? And then you can have the worldwide, the rights in your country to make the movie. They do that to every country. To make it domestically. So when they went to Japan, they said, absolutely, we'd love to have, but can you please have James Kieran and Thom Mathews come back at some role? Because apparently we were very well received over there. Both of us, we really stood out. So that's why we came back in Part 2.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
It's funny you mentioned the Japanese. So have you seen like a lot of the poster art they've had over there for?
I have.
It's gnarly, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely gnarly. Yeah. All right. Well, Facebook user, I'll do this because you have a question. How was your relationship with Thom?
Great.
I figured. I mean, how do you not have a good relationship?
Really easy going. Never a harsh word. Never even raised his voice. And I've never even seen him get mad. And I see him, frequently over the years. See him. He has a place out in Burbank, California. And great guy.
So what did you think about, and this is just a question from me. So with the whole, obviously Night of the Living Dead going into Return of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, and then Dawn of the Dead.
Yep.
There was the three of them. The Return of the Living Dead.
Were you surprised when they wanted to get away from the whole, biology behind it? You can't kill a zombie when you shoot it in the head, when you hit it in the brain. You can't do anything against them. When they did a Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, you could take them out with a headshot. Couldn't do it in this one. So was it ever got brought up like, what are we doing, guys? Like, how are we getting away from that mythology?
I was a young actor. I was just happy to have
You didn't give a fuck. I don't care how they die.
I'm just going to do it. Yes. I didn't even think about it. Just, to me, it was a drama. It
was.
It's a dark comedy. I mean, you laugh at the situations that we get ourselves into, and they're outrageous and understandable. I mean, when we're cutting the guy's head off, I never in a movie had this reaction where I'm freaking laughing, but I can't watch it at the same. So my head's just cranking back and forth because we're cutting the guy's head off. So I'm going, oh God. I was appalled, but laughing at the same time.
Right.
We shot that scene at 6:00 in the morning. That was kind of rough. But
yeah, that was probably my favorite aspect of that as well.
Acting is also very technical for those of you who don't know, because in that scene, after his head was separated from his body. There's a side shot where his mouth is moving, and so there's wires that we had to hide. So we cut it off, and you see me back away. I had to hook my shoulder on all the white popcorn stuff that they call it, the filler that we were putting the skeletons in, and had to hook it and drag it and throw it on the ground to hide the wires that were controlling his. So when they did a wide shot, you didn't see the wires, and make it all look natural. Yeah, that happens all the time. You gotta help out.
That's cool.
Special effects guys.
That's what I was going to ask was like,
pre CGI. You don't take that. Couldn't take it out then.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys? So obviously, did you guys ever have to do double duty? Obviously you're acting in the movie. Did you ever have to do, help with special effects, help with anything else? You were just actor.
We didn't. Yeah, Tony Gardner was there, and Kenny Myers. They're both huge now, and not. I mean, huge in stature, not in weight. So they did all that. We did rehearse for 2 weeks prior to principal photography, so that was great and very unheard of. Sorry, you guys still there?
We're here.
Sorry. Okay, my screen was blank for a second. So that was very helpful, and I've never done it since. But Return will always be my favorite movie experience. It was truly a collaboration. I remember working on the movie, and then after about 3 weeks, my mom said no. It was like, and then in that moment, I realized that I hadn't heard no while we were filming the movie. Because we talked about everything, we talked about every scene. Jimmy and Karen and I, we added some stuff. And Dan O'Bannon, the writer-director, was open to any suggestion, which is unusual for a writer-director, because usually, they spend years writing the scripts. So they want you to stick to the, whatever, which is a mistake, because whoever you hire as the actor, you want them to bring what they tap into in their personal life to make it real for them, and that transcends onto the screen as being honest and real. So that was great.
No, it's kind of like what we do with our podcast. We just we don't have our questions written down. It's organic. And it shows.
Well, it's good for an actor. You have your script, and that's the foundation, and that scene backwards and forwards. So from that point, you can bounce off, because when you're on the set, on location, whatever, you get different ideas. And if I'm acting with you, I'll get a different idea from each one of you. Will be different. My reaction will be different from whatever you're giving me. It's acting is really reacting as well. So
I like that. Reacting, acting is reacting.
Yeah, it's very different for every person.
Well, Clint, ask your question you ask everybody. If he didn't, what's the one role, just to make sure that you jog your memory?
Platoon.
Is that the one that you wish you got?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, you don't even have to ask it.
Platoon.
Man, all right, this interview's over. We're done. That's just
I was coming on. Oh, Hamityville was doing Return of the Living Dead, and they were also producing Platoon with Oliver Stone. So I went in to meet him over where he was editing El Salvador with James Woods. Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not. No.
Great movie.
Oh yeah,
El Salvador. James is great in it. So he's editing that, and we have a meeting, and I thought it went well, and he ended up going with Charlie Sheen. But that's one that I wish I would have done, because I was so.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, awesome.
I could totally see that.
Great, dialed in. That character just spoke to me, so that's the one that got away.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Well, damn, I didn't mean to open up old wounds.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah, man.
But looking to the future, I mean, since you're kind of you're showing your love for film, and you like to help projects get off the ground, and you've got a passion for the industry. Are there any passion projects that you want to make that you haven't really pursued yet?
No, I can't say that nothing sticks out. I'm not a writer, and I wish I was, because that would
It's all
be
right. Just make
fun.
friends with writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. As far as a passion script, no. A friend of mine wrote the same guy who got me into doing Never Hike Alone. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother segment. But that same he just recently wrote, well, maybe a year ago. It's a spec script. It's called Mike and Mike. So Mike is the name of the guy. Mike is the name of his dog, and it's the love of his dog. And I just weep. I hope somebody makes it for him, because it's just a great story. I mean, he lives in New York. He's at a 5-story walk up. The dog's getting older. He's carrying the dog down. He's carrying the dog up to go do his business outside, and just the bond that they have, and just really moving.
Oh my God! If anybody's listening to this, which obviously you are, make this happen. Damn it!
That would be cool.
James is full of some questions. Tom McGough wrote a new script for Friday 13th. Would you be down to reprise your role?
I would, but I know the script, and I'm not in it. So we're not talking. We didn't talk for like 5 minutes. I was really upset about that. It takes place on the other side of
the other side of the lake. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of Crystal Lake, on the other side, and it's basically a lot of girls are in it. It's girl heavy, he said. And it takes place probably in the 90s, not like the timeline wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
But I was hoping he would write a script involving myself and CJ and Vinny Gustafero's now the sheriff in town. 30 years later, and it's just a continuation, because Tommy's still, until he dies, he's going to be obsessed with Jason, and knowing, because it never ends for him, just tortured. And I always saw him and Megan getting married at some point, having some kids, and then just because he's so angst with Jason, they end up not being together for that reason. But
that's funny that you mentioned that. Now, should we bring it up, Clint?
There's some fan films that follow that path.
Yeah, in fact, he's got a shirt on for one of them. Victim No More. I don't know if you've checked it out. Bobby Heckman created it, and
Victim No More.
Victim No More.
Down.
Yes. It's a great fan film. It's phenomenal.
And he did the smart thing. I'm a fan of short films. Sometimes I feel like unnecessarily writers and movie makers like push for a feature when they don't really have enough to make one.
Right.
And
he's the one trick pony, the story.
Yeah. So it's nice and short. It's a cool story. Yeah.
And it's about
it's descendants of survivors.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, right.
And not wanting to live their lives as
victims. Therapy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
Maybe you saw some of it?
I think I may have read the script.
You know what? I'll send you the link. How about that?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah,
it's a really cool look. I shared it for months.
I think my daughter character's in it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
In the version that maybe.
Damn it. No spoilers.
You're gonna have to see it.
I'll send it to you. You check it out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we don't want to. I don't want to keep you on here too long. Obviously, we've been on it for 54 minutes. But it doesn't feel like it.
No.
I'm more than humbled to have spoken with you. I really am.
Well,
I got a little choked up there.
Pleasure to talk with you guys, for sure.
Yeah, you are an amazing person. Always been a huge fan.
Thanks a lot.
And just to be able to talk to you personally like this has been it's a humbling experience.
Oh,
and
I appreciate that. Really.
And the fact that you're going to be in projects that we that we know the people, with Dave with Go Away. I mean,
and we're actively supporting. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really cool. I can't wait to see the movie next week.
He's great. I'm sorry I'm not going to be there. I really wanted to support him and get out there. And he had that great little scene in the new thing he's doing, which would have been fun. Felicia's in that. I saw.
Well,
her.
what's funny is Beverly's in it too, so that would have been a reunion for you.
Right. There you go.
So,
Oh yeah, Beverly Random.
That's true.
yeah. No, Tom, thank you. Just thank you so much. I mean, really, it from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It really does mean a lot. It really does.
Appreciate that.
Clint, anything you want to add, brother?
No, I mean, you said it all, and I'll just reiterate that it has been absolutely amazing and beautiful experience to have you here.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to come on again, let me know, and I'll send you those.
Maybe we'll, in September when we're pushing Never Like Alone 2 would be a great time. And it's going to, like I said, premiere on Friday the 13th in October at different venues. I'm going to be doing a con. Which one am I going to be doing on Friday? I'll be at Halloween Palooza. So we're going to premiere it there. Vincent DeSante is going to be at Telluride. Have you ever been to Telluride, the horror film festival?
No, I've heard stories about it.
It's amazing. The backdrop is amazing. Whitecap Mountain, and the town is like a sleepy town in the mountains, and it's just so beautiful. And you see all the latest stuff in horror, all the new directors are coming out and stuff like that. That's where we premiered Never Hike Alone 5 years ago, and we've got 4 million views on YouTube. So he's going to be there premiering it there. I'm doing the convention that weekend. I'll be premiering it there where I'm at, and there's a couple of others. Knoxville, Tennessee. They're going to premiere it there. Not premiere. I guess it's just going to release it there all on the same night. So. We'll be adding on that, but it'll be fun. Awesome.
Fantastic. And we'll post everything you're going to be in, everything you're working on the page. We got, people asking, any upcoming projects. We just named them. But again, man, humbled is the only word I can use.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
With you guys.
Absolutely, man. You take care of yourself.
All right. You too. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
He dropped off. There he went.
There it went.